So the reason it's got so severe, the resistance to the planet lifting and becoming lighter, is because they're starting to lose ground, the opposing forces or the dark forces. It doesn't really matter who it is or what it is. It's an energy that opposes the light, that opposes the divine and opposes God, which is the nature of three-dimensional reality. There's always the yin and the yang in three-dimensional reality, and the balance. So they're always in balance, always. And so what happens is, as the light becomes stronger, the dark becomes stronger. And you've certainly witnessed that over the last 3 years. It's been quite an eye-opener. But for me, I've been waiting for this. I started lecturing on this information in 1994, all around the world. And the first indication that my high self said that what I was lecturing on was correct, because I was just trusting that it was right, is that I would start to see these colours in the clouds. Everybody's seeing them in the clouds now. But when I was lecturing in 1994, we couldn't see them. So I just had to trust that what I was expressing, my high self was sharing, was correct. And I had a lot of doubts, of course, but I kept doing it anyway, because the talks were just organised for me all around the world, and I just went there, and they seemed to go well, and I just took off on its own accord. I did this for 7 years, a block of 7 years, to the day almost. It wasn't until 2002 that we actually saw these colours. So it's from 1994 to 2002. And Pete saw them first.
Do you want me to tell you what I did? So we've been right up to past Kerry on a road trip with a geriatric in the back seat who was 80-something, and young fella now. And we got back, we were coming through Waipu, and we pulled in for to have lunch. And I thought I could see these colours that Anne had talked about, so I drove right through Waipu and parked on the edge of there's an estuary, and then sea on the other side. And they said, "What are we doing here?" And I'm a skeptic from hell, so I said, "You tell me." And then after a while they'd been silent, and I realised that I'm taller than them, and I was looking through the band at the top of the windscreen, and I had sunglasses on. And so I looked at them, and they didn't have sunglasses on, and they were John was slouched down in his seat. And I said, "Well, if you sit up and look through there and put my sunglasses on, now tell me." And they could see these colours. And Anne had described that she was told that she would see a flat rainbow with 12 colours in it, and that's what it was. Came out of the sea, went along, and then went back down.
Yes, so it's
Those
not a
colours.
Rainbow. Don't confuse this with a rainbow. It's got different colours in it, and it's not a arch. So of course I already knew what the colours were, because when I was lecturing on them I knew what the colours were, the nature of the colours, and I'd been looking for a long time, so it was very exciting to actually see them for the first time. It's becoming easier and easier to see them now, and more people are seeing them, wondering what they are. They're turning up in photographs like on YouTube, and people don't know what these colours are, because nobody's told them, nobody knows what they are. It's beyond me why the information isn't out on the planet at the moment, because it should be out on the planet. So these colours are the 12 rays of the fifth dimension. Now you can call the fifth dimension whatever you like. You can call it the age of light, or the golden age, or you can call it the end of time, because there's no time in the fifth dimension. There's a lot of names for it, but we're all talking about where the planet's going now. So I'm going to start off with some scientific facts before we get into the other stuff. So our solar system goes around our galaxy, takes 26,000 years. That's a scientific fact. It's roughly 2,000 years in each of the zodiacal signs. It takes 26,000 years to go around the galaxy. And so we're like, if we start at zero, we've come about 12,000 years, so we're like halfway through that cycle. And now we're going into this band of light, which is the fifth dimension, which is always in the galaxy. It's just that our solar system hasn't been there. It's been sitting out on the three-dimensional reality, the three-dimensional aspect of our galaxy. So that's the first figure The other figure is that there's a 186,000 year cycle, which is known as the Kali Yuga. It's in the Sanskrit teaching in the Mahabharata, but I haven't found it anywhere else. It's 186,000 years, which of course is the speed of light, of course. So the 186,000 year cycle is how long it takes for our solar system to go around our universe. And it's a similar process. The whole galaxy, goes around the universe. It takes 186,000 years for our galaxy to go around the universe. So the reason that it's particularly difficult at this time is that right now we're in the densest part of that 186,000 year cycle. And it's been getting denser and denser and denser and denser and denser. And on the 28th of March this year, my high self said, we've turned the corner, we're moving into the light now. So this is our universe that we're talking about. So we have 2 points here. We have maximum density, which means maximum heaviness and maximum solidity, maximum restriction and restraint. And now we're shifting from the 28th of March. Now we're shifting and becoming lighter and clearer. So our whole galaxy is moving into the light. So there's 2 things going on at this time. It is, there's a lot of opposition to us moving into the light because that's the nature of 3-dimensional reality. But when we move into the 5th dimension, and it's very close, in my understanding it's within the next 7 years, and they won't say when it is, there will be no dark. There will be no opposing forces. There'll only be light. Only light. So what happens when there's only light is the opposing forces and the dark energies that are trying to restrict us and shut us down and lock us up won't be able to function because there'll be no energetic component to empower them. There'll be nothing for them to draw their energy from because there's just light. And when there's just light, we need to look at the structure of the atom with the protons and the electrons and the neutrons. We need to look at that because in the 5th dimension, there's no electrons. There's just light. There's just the protons and the neutrons. And when there's no electrons, that means that there's no form. There's no structure. There's just light. And we haven't got long to get used to this concept.
No physicality.
No.
Yeah.
We'll be like how we picture water. So we'll be like bodies of transparent water. It's the only way I can describe it.